What's up? It's Monday's Cluster Fun. Danny Cunningham, it's Ramie Makhlouf, here to talk about the weekend that was. Some sad news to report. The Twins' magic number now down to 65. Entering the weekend, it was 69. It was
for
nice.
a week. We had a whole week.
It could not have been better.
The magic number being 69.
Yes, it was a nice week.
Yes.
So they took 2 out of 3 from Cleveland. It's down to 65. I'm saddened by that.
Well, I'm saddened that it's no longer 69, but I'm happy by the results of the weekend.
Sure.
I predicted a sweep, got this close to getting that sweep, didn't quite get it, but I'll take 2 out of 3. They gained a game in the standings, and like you said, magic number down to 65. As far as I'm concerned, mission accomplished in Cleveland this week.
Definitely a win for them this weekend. I mean, not letting that deficit get smaller was a good thing. They didn't exactly. I don't think they stepped on Cleveland's throats. I still think
not quite. No,
it's not a sweep would have.
A sweep probably would have ended.
But having it at 6.5, Cleveland is certainly still alive in the divisional race, and they played 10 more times, so anything still absolutely could happen the rest of the way. But the bullpen was really impressive. I was impressed by mostly by Odorizzi in Game 2. Barrios clearly didn't have it
have his stuff. And
there are some troubling things that he's not been a very good pitcher away from target field this year, and that's something that's troubled me a little bit.
That's true. The one thing about Jose Barrios this season, and this is why I said he took the step this season from being the Twins ace to a true Major League Baseball ace, there have been a handful of times where he didn't have his best stuff and still managed to shut down the team just by being a pitcher. He didn't do that to Cleveland yesterday. No. He didn't have his stuff, and he wasn't able to really work around it, ending in sort of a short outing and a Twins loss.
Yeah, and he's at target field. He's been awesome. His ERA is below 2.5, I believe, but away from target field, he's not been an ace. There's no other way to put it.
You're right about that.
A very average pitcher away from target field, and that's something that, whether it's just a small sample size type thing or a coincidence or whatever it is, I do think at some point it is cause for concern, because if they're in the playoffs and you have to go on the road and Barrios is on the hill, you might be a little bit worried. You're definitely not as comfortable as you would be with him pitching at target field.
And that's why you want home field advantage, but
even then, he could end up pitching on the road.
He could end up pitching on the road.
Home field advantage all you want. He could pitch a Game 5 on the road or a Game 3 on the road. Like, those things could still happen.
You can sort of maneuver and work your rotation to get him that road start, but you want your best pitcher going in Game 1. Like,
it would also depend. Like, if it's the ALCS, you don't know. It depends how long the first series goes. He could have to pitch a Game 1 and a Game 5, and then he's not pitching till Game 3 on the road, potentially. So and that's far in the future, but that's something that I think is a legitimate cause for concern, is just that he's not.
And the breaks have been cut, so we can talk about playoff scenarios.
I mean, we can talk about playoff scenarios. I'm not cut the brakes at all. I think that the brakes are cut. You should be a little concerned with the brakes because it's certainly not over. But they did have a good weekend. Picked up a game on Cleveland. It's at 6.5. They're off tonight, which I think is kind of dumb. Like
right after the All-Star break?
You just had 4 days off, played 3 games, and now you get another day off.
They're lazy.
And then
they're lazy.
I don't think they have another day off until the end of the month.
Like, you should pull Judd in here to complain about MLB schedule makers. That's one of his. That's one of his favorite pastimes.
Yeah, I don't understand this. Why do they get the day off?
I don't know, man. But
just like the Friday before the All-Star break.
Yeah,
Cleveland didn't play, Cincinnati didn't play, neither Chicago team played. Like, 4 teams had a Friday night off.
That's really weird.
That's dumb.
But here's what I will say, and I do not hesitate to criticize Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball for the way that they handle things. He's terrible. He's the worst commissioner in my life. But what I say, whenever there are complaints about the MLB schedule, not to say that they don't make mistakes, not to say that they couldn't do a better job.
Oh, they could.
But it's a 162-game schedule for 30 teams who all need to get the same amount of home games, all need to get the same amount of weekend series, and now you have the added twist in the last 20 years or so of interleague play and working that into the schedule, and you have to get all the division games in. Like, that's a million-piece puzzle that these schedule makers are putting together, and there are going to be things on it that don't make sense or that look bad to us, but I don't know that I could do a better job, or how many people out there can do a better job.
I'm not saying I'm the man for the job.
That's a complex thing to do.
I'm not saying I'm the man for the job.
Right.
I'm just saying that the Twins are kind of disadvantaged by having a wasted off day.
I see what you're saying.
3 days after they just had 4 days off.
I see what you're saying.
That, it is in a way, it's a disadvantage. Like, you love to have your off days, get your rest. Like,
for sure.
Do all those things.
Yeah.
it's a disadvantage to have one when you really don't need one at all.
Yeah.
Like that's.
I got my rest this weekend.
Yes, you did. I did too. The Wolves are playing tonight. Summer League. They could be champions, Rami.
Is tonight the Summer League Championship?
It is the Summer League Championship.
I had
The
no
Wolves
idea.
are playing in it.
I had no idea.
I mean, you've lived here for I don't know how many
6
months.
months.
Not very many. A couple less than me.
Close to 6.
But I didn't necessarily think that this quickly into my tenure living in Minnesota
You
that
would
we
see
could
a
be
Wolves
talking about a
championship?
champion.
Do we have a parade for this?
I mean, I would assume they'll just shut down Nicollet and there will be a parade, right? That's how it has to work.
They should do the Summer League equivalent to a championship parade. So, like, take it out to some small suburb
No,
of
I think that-
Minneapolis.
I think that
at
is-
a tiny street.
I think the equivalent to that parade would be instead of like shutting down the streets and shutting down the city and having a massive celebration,
Yeah.
you have them go around Target Center one time, but you don't close any of the streets, so they're just amongst normal
And
traffic.
not even on a bus. Just put them in the back of a pickup truck. Or something. Just
You'll probably need like 3 pickup trucks, but yeah, just one lap around
one
Target
lap
Center.
around Target Center.
Got to hit the green lights.
Do they get a trophy for this? Is there a trophy for the Summer League Championship?
I have no idea.
I'm curious now.
I have no clue.
Seth, do you know? Behind the camera? No, he doesn't know. You should know this. You're our NBA guy.
I've never been into Summer League the way I'm into Summer League. Like, I haven't deemed it very important, partly because the teams that I've covered in my past, like, played real basketball until
Right.
June,
Yeah.
and then didn't have anyone that was of note playing in July.
That makes sense.
There is a Summer League
Seth
trophy.
just showed us the trophy.
There is a Summer League trophy that the Wolves could be adding something to their trophy case tonight. It's exciting. Maybe
I won't even put that in the trophy case.
Where
If I'm the
are you
Wolves-
going to put it?
If there is a trophy case,
It's going to be in the first pickup truck in the parade.
is there a trophy case at Target Center?
There's one in Mayo Clinic Square.
Okay, I don't. I
There
wouldn't-
also is one in Target Center.
I wouldn't put it in there. I wouldn't put a Summer League trophy in that trophy case.
Champs, man.
That's the equivalent to a participant trophy.
I mean, all I'm saying is that the Wolves. Okay, no, it's not, because every team participates in Summer League. Only one can win. And the Wolves haven't lost a game since Gerson Rosas was hired.
That's
all
a
I'm gonna
fair
say.
point. That's a very
All I'm
fair
going to
point.
say. But we'll be back tomorrow, maybe talking about a championship, maybe not. Even if they win, we might not talk about it. Depends what happens. Also, a really boring week in sports, but I'll be back tomorrow with somebody. Talk to you then.